Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3. Hello, can you hear us? We can hear us twice. There you go. Yeah, we can. Can you guys hear us in the room? Yes. Thanks, Carmen. Thanks, Nisha. Hi, everybody. I know. I'm just saying hi because I just see we're all getting thumbs up. Hi, TikTok. Everybody, good evening. Happy Sunday. Wow. I don't know. It feels like we haven't been here on a Sunday in quite some time. It's been a long time since we've actually gone live on a Sunday. And the last ago. But the last well, we went live on Thursday before we left. We had the dinner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we went live. We showed all of the sunset gourmet stuff.
It feels like another world.
I know. It's honestly, you know what? It was so quick, but yet it feels like we were gone for a long time. But yet it's because we weren't with all of you for such a long time that we were gone away too. Oh my goodness. Happy Sunday, everybody. Happy April.
I know.
This is the month of April. We are already April 5th.
21 days away from Kickstart.
21 days from Kickstart 2025, summer 2025. Looking forward to that. Super excited about that.
21 days till we track, but really the orientation
it's on
14 days away. So yeah, orientation's coming up sooner, but the actual starting of tracking for Kickstart is coming up in 21 days. Yes. So tonight we have decided that we will start off by talking to you guys about our trip. We have a lot to catch you guys up on.
Definitely.
There's still videos coming out, so if you guys have not seen some videos, they're almost all on TikTok.
Jean-Luc I only have one left. I'm so excited.
So Jean-Luc has one left, and once he's done, then I'll be able to start sharing everywhere else. I already started a bit today. There's some funny ones in there. The next one that's coming up is the bathroom one.
Oh, is that the bathroom one?
The bathroom one. We'll let you guys see that one later when it comes out, the bathroom one. So kind of go back on our trip. So last time we spoke to you guys was Thursday. We actually flew out on Saturday, March 29th. So we flew out on Saturday because we didn't want to stay. Our cruise started on Monday, so we didn't want to leave too early.
Yeah, there was no reason for us. We were not going across the border to go shopping or anything like that. Something we might have done in the past, but we decided we weren't going to be doing it this time. Exactly.
So we actually had to get to the airport pretty early that day because our flight was at 9 or 10.
10. Yeah, it was 10.
So we had to be there for 7 because flying to the States we had to go through customs.
And customs went smoothly. I think being in an airport might have helped that. I'm sure you've heard of all the other things that have been going on in the world, but at least right now going through the airport was nice and smooth. And I'll be honest, I'm going to say it. We were both a little nervous. I think that's a good word.
We'll talk about
that more in detail afterwards, but we were a little bit nervous, but went through with no issues, got on the planes. We actually were smart. We're going to be in Miami for a couple of days. So we bought some Di Serono at the LCBO. So that way duty free LCBO, duty free. It's because I'm so used to going to the LCBO. We bought it at the duty free. You can't cross it. So we bought it at the duty free and then just brought some snacks from home even. We brought our own snacks. We thought might as well pack our own stuff.
We made it to Miami pretty early. We were there by 1:30. We were staying at the Hotel Avalon on Ocean Drive, which is right at South Beach.
And we had been there. We'd been in the area before just for like a brunch one day. Of course, Diva has to go off in the afternoon. We had been there years ago. And it's funny, as we got there, we went into our room and all that. And then we started, walked around. But we kept trying to remember what restaurant we had gone to years ago on our very first cruise back in the day, and we couldn't find it. We're like, it's this one. No, it's this one. No, it's that one. And we could not figure it out. It was so weird.
We still didn't find it.
No, we didn't.
We got to walk around the beach. We went to see the beach. We didn't go in because the day we got there, it was raining.
It was gloomy, but it was hot.
Yeah. There was a beach volleyball tournament with models on the beach. So models were playing volleyball. So that was.
So we stopped by that for a bit. Didn't stay there very long.
Didn't stay long because,
Well, there wasn't enough shirtless.
There was men models,
some,
yes,
but not enough.
We looked at the male models, the female models not so much, but the male models we looked at. We then made our way to. We had some dinner.
Yeah.
We didn't actually eat lunch that day. We had our snacks, so we actually just went for dinner. We stopped at a restaurant. We was funny because we were walking by all the basically you walk down Ocean Drive in South Beach. It's just all restaurants along the way.
Restaurants and bars.
Yeah, and so there's menus, and so it's like menu, no, No, no.
And
The
Nick's like,
seafood ones, no.
he's going, hun, can you eat here? And I was like, I wasn't even looking at the menu. I'm like, why do I have to even look? Why do I look? I can probably find anything on any menu, even something that I don't like. I might even be willing to try it. But he's like, no.
And then we were able to finally find a place. One of the waiter, his name was Jonathan. He had talked to us on the way out and the way back.
He literally found us on the way back.
Yeah.
So he was like, oh, you guys are coming back to my
I
restaurant.
think I had a chicken tacos.
You had the quesadillas, I had tacos.
Okay.
Oh, no tacos? I don't remember.
That first I don't remember.
I don't remember anymore.
We went to our hotel neighbor was CVS. So we had to get some Coke Zero. And we added that to our Di Serrano that we brought with us. So it was great. We had a few drinks. Jean-Luc saw Bjork.
I saw Bjork, everybody.
Bjork.
Oh my God.
If you've seen the video on TikTok or on YouTube, it's already up.
So we're sitting there at that restaurant and I'm like, Nick and I are just talking and whatever. And then all of a sudden I see this lady walking down the street and she's wearing a white t-shirt that says Miami bitch instead of Miami Beach. But she's got a white long t-shirt and she has a floaty of a white swan wrapped around her. So do you guys all remember Bjork's famous whatchamacallit dress? What is it called again? Her swan dress that she wore either at one of the award shows.
It was Grammys.
Grammys or one of those. Oh my God. So anyways, I showed Nick afterwards and he was just dying. He's like, you are a nerd. I know, I guess that's what I did.
I'm trying to see if I can load it up and share with you guys. Oh, that I can.
Oh, that would be funny.
Here, guys, I'm going to share on screen for you guys watching here on Zoom. You guys can see. So this is what we see in Miami. Okay, so here we go as we're just sitting there.
Oh, it doesn't sound though.
No, I don't want sound.
Oh, okay.
There she is.
Oh, there she is. There's Bjork walking down the street of Miami.
So we had fun. It made us laugh.
You know me, I'm dumb. And you know what's funny thing is they're just stuff I see and that I think of on this. Like it's fun. We just like having fun.
We then went back to the Palace, which is a bar on the strip on the South Beach.
It's a gay bar on the strip. It's a gay bar on the strip, and they're very well known across the world really about drag. They do drag brunches. They have drag shows at night. So,
but we went to bed early that night.
Yes, we did.
I was tired. Shocker. But he was tired.
I was tired too. Travel days are always the hardest, I find, especially when you're traveling.
One of 2 days I went to sleep with my husband.
I think it would have been very different. It would have been, okay, hello. It would have been very different if it would have been sunny out and like warm.
Yeah.
If we would have had like that energy, but it was gray all day, so it's kind of like and then we're like, okay, let's just go to sleep.
And then by the time we woke up the next day, we were lucky when we woke up the next day that it wasn't we slept a long time. I think we slept like 12 hours that night. It was a long night. We were both tired, so we slept a long time. And Jean-Luc woke up and took his bath.
Oh my goodness, I was so excited. There's a tub in the hotel, so I took a bath.
I was really tempted to film another bath video like I did in Montreal.
This one was not as discreet.
Yeah,
it would definitely not been as discreet as the one in Montreal. So no, there was no bath taking in that one.
We didn't do that. So we didn't do that. We left it the way. We also shot a video in the bathroom called Spooky Shower, which is coming out soon. It's already on TikTok. I won't tell you what it is now. You'll have to watch it later.
And I needed my coffee, so we went out for a coffee one, and that was a coffee run. So we walked around to Starbucks. We found one just down the street, and then we did a whole loop around. There was this beautiful path, not on the beach, but along the side of the beach, which was awesome, which was so cool. I got to see a lot of eye candy.
Oh my God. There was a lot of beautiful shirtless men. I mean, seriously, it's like your neck hurts by the end of the day and you're like, it doesn't stop. They're everywhere. Not just that, it's warm, so they're not wearing shirts.
And then yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. And then they have these outdoor gyms, like honestly, like these weightlifting.
They're like doing like pumping iron or like.
But with full on weights. It's not like it's the ones that you find in like provincial parks here where you can do your own body weights.
We didn't take photos. We didn't want to be disrespectful.
There might be a few glimpses and videos that, oops, they happen to be in the shot. Oops.
Yeah, but we didn't take photos. We were trying to be, just walk by.
But we ended up going back to the Palace because, again, like we said, they always have drag. So we saw there, and I don't know if you've seen that video. Do you want to show that one too?
It might
not be out. It might not be out yet. You're right. It's not on YouTube yet. But we saw this one drag queen, and she actually was dancing with a partner. And it's insane. He was you'll have to watch it. She's in the middle of the street, throws her in the air, and you're like, don't fall. Like, you know what I
She's
mean?
gonna smack her head on the
But she
pavement,
doesn't, of course.
then-
But I mean, they're trained dancers as well. But it's phenomenal to
Yeah,
watch.
it was crazy to see.
Yeah.
And then we made it back to our hotel just as it started to drizzle. And then the thunderstorm came through.
It was crazy.
We were like, are we in a hurricane?
What I think is weird too. It's the trees. It's the trees. The palm trees make it look so much different than our trees. Like, I don't know, but the fact that they look like they're bending over in the wind, it's spooky. And as we turned around and we looked across the street, boom, this huge branch. Actually, I shouldn't say branch. Half of the tree had fallen off. Like, it was insane.
So I can actually show you guys quickly what it looked like for us. And what's crazy is that while we were going through this, all of you were going through
the ice storm.
So as you can see, this was what it looked like out our window as we were in Miami. It was raining hard, and by the time we were done, all the streets were flooded.
Cars were splashing into the restaurant when they were driving by, and this was actually had gone down by now.
Yeah. So so it was an interesting experience. You know, I'm glad it wasn't an actual hurricane.
Me neither.
I wouldn't want to see what that is. I feel so bad for all of you who live in Florida who go through hurricanes.
Well, we were even talking about. Do you remember one of the guys was like, I have not seen rain like this in a long time. Like, he's like that was non-stop, because normally they were saying it was like it's showers, right? It'll rain hard and then it'll stop and then it'll go by, but this was non-stop.
Yeah.
It's insane.
After the rain stopped, because it didn't really stop, we walked in the rain to a Thai food restaurant. As you all know, we love Thai food. And what's funny is that we hadn't actually been to this Thai restaurant 8 years ago. So 8 years ago, we actually went on our first cruise out of Miami. And at that time, we went to a Thai restaurant and we found it again.
It was the only Thai restaurant in South Beach.
It was getting easy to find. And it was delicious.
Oh my God, it was so good.
So good.
It was, definitely. And I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
South Beach Thai or something like that.
Yeah, South Beach Thai, I think it was.
Amazing.
We went back to the hotel. We went to dance at Palace with some go-go dancers.
We thought there was going to be more drag, and by the time we got there was no more drag. It was going to start a little later,
but there was a really hot cowboy on the stage.
Beautiful cowboy on the stage. It was awesome.
It was enjoyable.
And then there's
another video of that somewhere coming as well. You'll see it.
Then we ended up going to bed.
Yeah. Early. And the thing is that, you know, when we were in South Beach, it was just really, we don't go on cruises the day before.
No.
I don't know if any of you guys have cruised before, but we have a huge fear of missing our ship. And so we always tend to go 2 days before, just in case something happens.
You never know.
So that's why we left early. And
well, just look at it this way: the ice storm. Look, could you imagine if we would have decided to leave on Sunday, because our cruise wasn't still until Monday? But who knows what could have happened?
I'm telling you right now, the production team went, okay, they're out of here. Bring it. Okay, now pick it up. Ice coming in, then the ice, and you guys had another snowstorm after that. Then it was 24 one day, apparently. It was summer for a day. I mean, it was like almost the whole year went by. Summer, fall, spring, and winter happened while we were away.
I know.
So, next morning is the day for the cruise.
Yeah, we woke up and headed to Fort Lauderdale. We got an Uber from Miami from there. And that was actually kind of cool. We had never done this before. FYI, we had the year we came back from the COVID cruise.
Yes.
We didn't like the Fort Lauderdale airport, just to be honest. And none of that, we had a really bad experience with the Air Canada rep that was there that year.
So we vowed never to fly
to Fort Lauderdale again. So we went to Miami instead and just took
the neighbors.
Took an Uber. Like, who, honestly, we didn't even realize how close they were.
No, we looked on a map and we were like, oh, it's like Mississauga and Toronto.
Exactly.
They're like neighbors.
Yeah, we had no clue.
Yeah, we had no clue. And so we got to the ship. So, little backstory now. Let's reverse a little bit. So the reason we went on this cruise, and for those of you who remember, 2 years ago, we were on a Christmas cruise and I caught COVID. I had COVID for 6 days. I was locked away for 6 days during that cruise. And afterwards, I was given a travel voucher from Celebrity Cruises because I was quarantined for 6 days. So this cruise was using that voucher because it expired this year. We had to use it this year before it expired, and it was a lot of money. I lost half my cruise on the last trip, so I didn't want to lose out on this money. So this is why we booked this cruise. But because we booked it a 4-day cruise, And because the deal that when we booked it was buy one, save 75% off, Jean-Luc and Nick got to live it up for a week.
Yeah. Which
We were on the highest class ship possible on the cruise ship. We were in what's called a retreat. We had a suite for this trip. It's the first time ever we'd ever done this. We've never stayed in a suite before. And let's just say the first experience when we walked in at Celebrity, they're like, "Oh, you don't go that way with," and we'll say it now and apologize. The peasants. You don't go with the peasants. You go with this separate room over here for only you guys.
There's really no such thing as peasants on a cruise ship, to be honest with you. And
it was a joke.
It was more of a joke than anything.
So we walk into this room, and there's a private elevator that brings us upstairs. Then we get an
elevator.
Then we get upstairs. We get a personal concierge to check us in, and then they give us our car.
And there's a buffet.
There's a buffet there. We check in, we walk, we skipped all the lines. So basically everybody else had to go up escalators, go all through these lines, and then go up a ramp. And we were just show up at the ramp. Like we didn't have to do all that walking. And then we got on the ship, we went to our room. Our room was huge.
I had looked on the map before we left thinking, and I was looking at the little picture and I'm like, oh, I think it looks exactly the same size as all the other rooms. It's not that much bigger.
It was double the size of other rooms.
It was bigger than the hotel room we were staying at in South Beach. That's the funny part. We couldn't believe it. I was like, this is bigger than the South Beach hotel room.
We had a tub.
Yes, Jean-Luc did also have more baths while he was away. That was my vacation, was taking as many baths as I want.
We had a butler. His name was Silver.
He was so nice.
He was also on WhatsApp, so we were able to send him requests. Let's just say Nick fell in love with Evian water. There's videos coming. So for those of you wondering, I have never had Evian water.
Neither have I.
I'm not buying that. But on the ship, because of the class we were on, it was like regular water. I kept asking for more. I was like, Evian. And you know what? It tasted delicious.
I will be honest with you. I never thought there would be a difference in taste, but it really did have as much as water should be water, it tasted different.
It was just crisp and delicious. We then went to check out the retreat sun deck because, again, being in a suite, there's a section of the ship that is just for suite people that are in the suites, which is called the retreat sun deck. And up there was like nice loungers. There was sunscreen. We put some on. There was some aloe. There was some sunglasses.
The next day.
Well, you can get them up there. And there was also a bartender. This bartender was only serving in the suite, so we would actually climb the stairs every single time we wanted a drink and went to that bar. And there was no lineup, so we were able to walk up, and he knew our drink orders. He knew who we were, and it was a great time. We met some people while we were there.
Yes, we met this lovely two couples. They were fantastic. They were. Do you want to? So on our way up to the first time to the suites, we get to the gate, and there's these three ladies that are at the front of the gate. And this is our first interaction really with people on the cruise ship now. This is the very first interaction. So they were trying to get in, but you need your card to get in. So we were like, excuse me. And they're like, oh, we can't go in there. We're like, well, it's part of the suites, blah, blah, blah. And they were so nice. They're like, oh, great. Where are you guys from? And
we try to be nice and be like, sorry.
Yeah. I'm like, we could probably walk you through.
Sneak you in.
Because if you go to the bar, they always ask you for your card, right? They want to see what you're ordering. But we could probably sneak you in and walk you through so you can see. They're like, no, that's okay. But they asked us where we're from, and we're like, oh, we're from Toronto. And I'm going to be honest, the very first thing out of the three of their mouths was, we're so sorry.
And we'll get on this in a bit. We will talk about this after we talk about our trip, and I wanted Jean-Luc to bring it up a bit.
But so they said, we're so sorry. And we're like, we get it. And we said this, and I'm going to say exactly what we said. It was Nick who came up with this. It has nothing to do with the employees. It's just we're not pleased with management. Let's just say that's how he put it. And I was like, "Wow, okay, that was a good."
We love the employees, the United States employees, but management,
not so much.
But we'll talk about that in a bit.
And then there was another gentleman who was there on the other side, who was with his wife, who might have been okay with the management, but was still very respectful. I will say that we had a conversation. It was brief, short. And then we moved on and kept going through our day, and it was great. It was fine. There was no issues there.
So that night, well, we went to get our bathing suit first. We swam for a bit. The first time we've ever swam on a cruise ship when we were leaving port.
Yeah.
We've never done that before because it's just.
It was hot,
It
though.
was hot. Oh my God.
Yeah, the difference in temperature.
Sorry, we're not complaining.
No, never a complaint when we say it was hot.
All these people here are like, what?
So let's do it this way. Oh my God, it was so hot. It was awesome.
It was amazing.
Sorry, again, that's not anybody for all you
Yeah,
people
yeah.
freezing, was it?
Yeah, it was great. And then for dinner, we went to the main a la carte restaurant, which is the Grand Cuvée, with Michael and Mel. For those of you who don't know, Michael and Mel are friends of ours who we've known them for 6-7 years, and we randomly found out that we're all on the same
We
cruise.
had booked the same cruise, like we had found out.
They booked it, we booked it, we didn't know.
We didn't know.
Yeah.
So it was kind of fun to have like built-in friends on the cruise already. Not that we have problems meeting people on
I
cruises.
had turkey parmesan for dinner, and let's just say I've already had him. I'm having him create turkey parmesan for all of you because it was so good.
I didn't even try it, so I don't even know if it's gonna taste like that.
I don't care. I told them, I added it to the list of future meal recipes. It's already on the list. Turkey parmesan is coming.
Sounds like a plan. And I had steak. I was like, you know what? I never eat steak at home. I rarely eat steak anywhere else. I'm having steak.
Went to bed. I went to bed alone, as always, on a cruise ship. I went to bed early every night, so it's going to be a theme. Jean-Luc stayed up after me every night. I wanted to rest. It was part of what I wanted to. I stayed up late one night only throughout the entire trip.
And it wasn't that late. It was like 10:30.
I slept till midnight one night.
No,
The dance party.
that was late early.
Disco.
It was probably around 11.
It started at 10:45.
It was probably, yeah, you're right.
Come
It
on,
could have been
give
a little
me some
later.
credit. I went to bed late one night.
I should go check the video to see
Yeah.
what time he was in the elevator.
One night.
I'm gonna go check it right now.
That night I went to bed early. Jean-Luc stayed up. What did you do that night? Do you remember?
Well, that's the night, you remember, so they had karaoke every night, but so the first night tried to get in, and there was some miscommunication where they kept telling everybody it was either an hour or it was 2 hours and it wasn't. And so anyways, they had booked up the list so quickly that I tried. That didn't work out. I ended up going upstairs because on the top deck of the 14th floor, they have the Sky Lounge, and that becomes like the nightclub, the over 18 nightclub afterwards. And there's always people in there. I sounded French Canadian there for a second, dancing. So I just ended up there, and I met a bunch of people just from on the cruise.
Our second day was a sea day. We spent the day by the pool. We got up and did line dancing because there was a section of songs that was all country music. And since we knew all the dances, we got up, and all these teenagers were coming up to learn line dances from us. So, and they basically, a lot of people started to know us at that point. Yeah. Our bartender, Donnie, was amazing. He was the one that was at the retreat, and he's the one that kept serving us. We brought Mel and Michael with us to sit there for a bit because you know what? We snuck them up because by the pool was great, but it was loud.
It gets really loud.
The retreat was tranquility.
And that was insane. I couldn't believe it. Like we would sit, and honestly, they were side by side, but because they were
2 floors higher.
2 floors higher, even though outside you couldn't hear the loud music. There'd be a faint like noise, but it wasn't annoying. So you could be up in the retreat and read your book and just really chillax and not have to worry about having a headset in or anything like that.
Went to the martini bar before dinner. We went to dinner alone that night. I had chicken.
Surprise.
There was nothing else on the menu for me. Literally the entire menu.
And this is a funny thing because when you different classes during your cruise, you have access to different restaurants. There's always a la carte restaurants. For those who don't know, those are restaurants you can pay additional to go to. So it's either $60 or $65. A lot of times it's because it's a specialty dining. But if you're part of the aqua class, I think it is, you get this alumni.
Well, no, everybody gets a la carte dinner. Yeah, dining room included. There's extra specialty dining book. But what we could do, we had 3 different options. We could go to Grand Cuvée, which is the main one. We could go to Blue, which is the aqua class, or we could go to Lumini, which is the retreat class. Every day, every morning, Nick would get on his phone. We'll look up the menus for Blue. Can't eat there. We'll look up menu for Lumini. Can't eat there. And then we'd end up at Grand Cuvée. Oh, I can eat there. Sometimes when I go on a cruise ship, I have to go to buffet because I can't even eat at the main restaurant. But this time I was going to eat at all of them.
Mm-hmm.
That night, what did you had?
I had shrimp scampi. Okay, I eat escargot every night on a cruise because yet again, it's something that I never eat at home, but I love it. and I would never cook it for myself, but when I'm on a cruise ship, why not? Just like having creme brulee every night too.
Not for me.
I love it.
And then we tried to go to karaoke again.
Didn't work.
It was full again.
No, but I will say this. There were a lot of singers, and there's a TikTok coming in. I took clips of all the singers. There are some really, really impressive singers on this cruise ship. I was like, oh my God, these are the people on the ship. It's not the staff singing. So it's really fun. It was fun to see.
I went to bed. Shocker. And if those wondering, we don't tend to go to shows on a cruise ship. It's not.
We used to.
I've kind of shared this before. I have a little ADHD. I've talked about this before. I even have problems going to the movies. I'm really bad at watching something and keeping attention for a long time, unless I have a phone, an iPad, or a laptop. So we tend not to go to shows on a cruise ship unless it's something that really piques our interest. And on this cruise, there wasn't a show really that was really piquing our interest. So we prefer just having our dinners and hanging out with other people.
And it's so hard to do everything. That's one thing, because they have things that are, going on simultaneously, right? Like they have
creme brulee.
I love creme brulee. Oh my God, it's one of my favorite things ever. And I can't say it, but there was a special creme brulee on the last night, which I'll tell you after.
So Wednesday was Key West. We made a decision before the cruise that we would not get off at Key West. We'll talk about this again at the end, but we decided not to get off. We'd already been there before. Yep. We'd already visited Hemingway House. We saw all the kitties. We already had seen.
So for those of you who don't know, Hemingway had a house in Key West, and his house is still there. It's now become a museum. And
kitties,
all of his cats, the generation of cats that he's had all these years are still.
He doesn't have them anymore.
Look,
he's dead.
You know what I'm saying? They're still part of his history.
The descendants of his cats are
still there. They're all polycats, so they all have the extra digits.
Yeah.
So they have huge paws. And they're just everywhere in the house, outside in the yard. It's amazing, something amazing to actually see. But since we had already seen it, we're like, we don't need to go back.
So we stayed on board. We had the best seats at the pool. There was no lineups. The bars were empty. The lunch buffet, we got to walk around. The ship was ours.
Yeah, it was really
fun. The pool
was
empty. We never done it before. So,
but the thing is our actual itinerary had changed too. They got us into Key West earlier because they wanted us to leave earlier because the storm that was coming towards Miami and South Beach and all that was heading that way. So they didn't want to take any chances that we were going to be there and it was going to rain anyways.
Yeah.
So people got off the ship were able to get off by 7 but had to be back by 2:30 instead of 4 originally.
Yeah. We also met an amazing couple, David and Holly. We were able to chat with them almost all morning.
All afternoon.
Yeah, all morning, I thought.
It was all afternoon by the pool. The lady, we sat by the elevator and talked to her for an hour about Amazon purchases. Yeah, she was awesome as well, her and her husband. Oh my God, that was Clint.
That night we had dinner at Grand Cuvée again because guess what? I couldn't eat at Blue and I again. I had pasta primavera, and guess what?
I had steak
again. We tried to do karaoke again that night. We could not get in, but we got to do silent disco. And silent disco, Jean-Luc and I decided to take over the elevators, and the elevators are glass and they go in the center. And let's just say we had everyone down below dancing with us and having fun with us in the elevator dance. It's something that we always do on cruise ships, and we love doing it. And
it started a couple years ago when we were on our second cruise. And it had the same type of elevators. And we were so looking forward to doing it on 2 years ago Christmas cruise.
But the Beyond doesn't have
the same elevators. So when we got on the cruise ship and we're like, we won't be able to do elevator dancing this year. And then we got to do it now instead. So it was kind of fun. It was kind of like making up, like, it was like that little, oh, yay.
What's funny though is the next day, we'll talk what we're doing the next day, but the next day while we're going on an excursion, these people drove by us and they waved at us and they started doing
the elevator dance.
They started doing our elevator dance to us because people recognized us from the and the next day everybody's like, were you guys dancing in the elevators? Like, yeah, that was us. That was us.
It was actually quite funnier because it was the teenagers that were all totally impressed with that. Like it was something they would never see two grown men doing, I think. And they were like, oh my God, you guys are so cool. So I
was a sweaty mess, but it was fun. Next day we went, we arrived in the Bahamas. First time ever for the two of us to be in the Bahamas. We went to Bimini Island. They have a resort there on the island called Resort World on Bimini. And basically we just paid like $30. We got brought to this resort. There was 2 pools, one for kids, one for adults. Michael and Mel came with us. There was lounge chairs, music. This pool was huge. So there was a lot of space to actually like we could walk around, do laps.
Yeah, there's no laps on a cruise ship pool. Not complaining about that though. But
And what happened while we were in the pool, honey?
okay, so at one point we get into the pool and this lovely lady comes down to me and she looks at me and she goes, "Oh my God, it's so nice that you finally get a day off, eh?"
Really?
And I'm like, well, we both look at each other. Well, yeah, we've been off since we got on the ship. We haven't been working.
She's like,
So, you guys don't work for Celebrity? I thought you guys were part of the entertainment crew.
so apparently we've been hired by Celebrity to be their entertainment
It
crew.
was funny. It was so funny. And she was serious. She was dead serious going, "I thought you guys worked for them."
So we had a great time. We had lunch there. I had a chicken quesadilla. You had a hot honey
chicken sandwich.
We then returned to the ship, did some packing.
Yeah.
Dinner that night, we finally got to try one of the restaurants, Blue. I had ravioli that night, so they had something I can eat.
And I had steak again. I'm telling you. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I don't.
This time was filet mignon.
It was a filet mignon though. Yeah.
That night, John finally got to sing at karaoke. Let's just say while he was singing, people walked by and stopped. And they're on that night. People came up to you and said that.
Yeah, there's one guy that came up to me and he's like, "Oh yeah, we were walking by." He's like, "I had to come and say something to you because as soon as I walked by, we actually turned around and came back to stop and listen to you because we just couldn't believe that you were someone that was on the ship." And I was like, "Oh, well, thank you." That was.
I then went to bed. Shocker! And I stayed up.
I stayed up a little longer.
Till 1 a.m.
Yeah, it was probably around 1:30-ish, probably.
He was tired, yes.
Oh yes, yeah.
2 days ago.
Flight home was very rough.
So on Friday we woke up. We got to get off the ship. We got to the airport. We went to Subway when we got to the airport for lunch. There was 0 issues with our flight home.
Yeah, it was weird.
Smooth sailing, no delays. Our flight arrived on time. We got on. We landed early.
We
got changed at the airport. By the time we got out, our luggage came out right away. Like we literally didn't wait. We got on we took an airline limousine and we came home and got home and done. It was like we were done. We were home early. It was like 7:30.
Yeah, because even when we went to Costa Rica, we had the delays, if I'm not mistaken, which were just so frustrating. So it was nice to be on this trip and everything just went so smoothly. I'll be honest with you. There was no nothing we had to jump through hoops or anything like that. Hey, one thing I do want to say, and Nick saying, making it sound like I'm out drinking all night nonstop and I'm drunk every day. No, I will be honest with you guys. I drank and I did have cocktails on this, of course, but I never came home. I never got to the point where maybe a few years ago, I would have drank and would have been completely not able to do anything the next day or not have a headache. I did not. You know what? I don't enjoy that anymore. It's just not fun. That's not who I am anymore.
And another thing that we did on this trip, everybody, is we actually never had breakfast.
No.
One of the reasons is because of overeating. We realized that, we knew we would eat a bit more. So we realized that having, a lunch buffet, having breakfast would just make us have 3 full big meals.
Well, we were also waking up later as well.
Yes,
where
I was
at that
sleeping
time,
in.
He was sleeping in. We would never make it to the pool till 11. And our thought process is, are we going to go eat breakfast at 11, then go back to eat at 3 and then go have dinner again? And we're not saying that this is that what you should do. If you're a breakfast person, go have your breakfast. Yeah. But we also know ourselves right now because temptation comes into play. And what is it? You're not having the things you're supposed to be having for breakfast.
Another thing I'm proud of is I never went for seconds.
No, you never did.
I skipped desserts most nights. Yeah. Almost every night I skipped desserts. I actually tried to stay. I tried to do as much as I could to not overeat while we were on this trip. And the snacks we brought,
barely even ate them.
Came home with us.
We finished them this weekend.
Yeah, we finished it at home because we didn't eat them on the trip. We actually didn't snack.
And I forgot to talk to you about that special creme brulee.
Yeah.
It was a dolce de leche creme brulee. OMG. It was so good.
That's the dessert I had.
That one was I I can't even tell you how good it was. And all she said the difference was they made it with condensed milk somehow. I didn't get the recipe, mind you, but wow, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
So we love cruises, and we're planning another one next year. We're going to Iceland, and we're going to be sharing that information with some of you, well, all of you in a bit, because this is going to be a trip through Rustic Mama Retreat. So if anybody wants to go to Iceland next year, if it's on your bucket list,
join us.
Stay tuned. We'll give you the information. But we had a great trip. We had a great trip. We had a lot of fun. We actually like 4-day cruises. We realized that it's something that we might do again. It felt like, every day was a new day. We never got tired of what was happening. Sometimes when on a vacation, when you do 7-10 days, you get near the end and you're like, oh, you know what? I'm a little tired. I'm ready to go home. Whereas this time, by the 4th day, we're like, I'm ready to go home, but I'm also not exhausted. I'm tired of doing this.
And that's exactly it. It felt like it was always fresh because it was like boom, 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 done. And then we got home, and what was nice about this is we didn't get home on Sunday, because if we would add the extra days, it would have been either home Sunday or Monday. Then going right back to work afterwards would have just been exhausting. So
we came home early. The last 2 days we cleaned our fridge.
Yeah,
our fridge is spotless now. We bought a new vacuum today, a new little vacuum, because our old one is about to die. So we bought a new one to help us. Jean-Luc had to rebirth. So Carrie Bradshaw passed away, everyone.
Carrie Bradshaw, she unfortunately was baked before we left.
So Carrie Bradshaw was baked. So
we are now reintroducing
Bretty White.
Bretty White.
This is Bretty White.
Bretty White is now
our
part of our
third sourdough starter. Her name is Bretty White. I came up with that name.
Yes, it was Nick's idea.
And she's growing now, so we'll be able to make sourdough this week.
No, next week.
Next week.
Yeah.
And we loved our cruise. We loved our trip. We're so glad that we got to do this. We got to sleep, relax, recharge, and now we're ready to get kickstart. Like, we're ready for the month. We're ready to get things going. We're going to be doing steps tomorrow morning. We're already planning on getting up. We already have our books are already here. We bought our books. I see some of you showing them. We bought our books. We're ready to go with that. We're already thinking of some commitments ourselves, like trying to think some ideas. Like, I actually talked to him about me standing up more. So helping him with kitchen when he's cooking, actually standing up and helping him instead of sitting down on the couch. So we're both thinking of some different.
I want to say something about my weigh-in.
Oh yeah.
As I went away, I remembered to put my Shepa on vacation mode, and so I put her on vacation mode. And I was not going to weigh in until Monday, but Nick went and weighed in yesterday. I'm like, well, I can go weigh in today too. I took her off vacation mode, and I went and stepped on Shepa. And when I left, I was at 224.4. And yesterday, I was at 224.9. And so as much as I did enjoy myself, and as much as I did have cocktails, I'm like, goes to show you what you can do, right?
And I'm not the same level I was before I left, but I'm also not that. I'm still in the 250s. I'm in low 250s still. I started a year 269. So I still maintained all the weight I've lost during Kickstart, the Kickstart summer. But one of the things we hinted on and on our while we were gone is that kickstand for the summer is going to change.
Yes.
And yes, Jean-Luc and I both realized that kickstand this time allowed us to be more too free. We need more structure.
Yep.
So this summer, we are actually going to create something for us and all of you, so that the entire summer, you guys have something to do to keep you accountable throughout the summer, and so do as well as us. It won't be as big, it won't be as robust as Kickstart. It won't be, as much stuff, because Kickstart is where you're doing a lot of the major work. But there'll be some things to keep you accountable, some things to keep you going, some daily tasks, and keep us accountable. Because that's what we realized, is that once we stopped having our 10 commitments, we had the best intentions to keep going with them, but by day 3, they all went out the window basically, and we just did whatever we wanted for 2 months. And we don't want to do that. We want to keep going. And so we're hoping that you guys will join us for Kickstart Summer. So there'll be a new book. I'll probably introduce some tracking for you guys as well, for those who want to keep tracking your commitments this summer. So we'll bring some of that for Kickstand when you'll see all the news of that.
We've also talked about our chats during Kickstand will now be every Tuesday night instead of Sundays, because during the summer
we're not here
on Sundays usually, or we're just getting back from a drive and we don't want to cancel all the time. So we know that on Tuesdays we're both working still, so it's easy to jump on and do once a week. And those Tuesdays would either be like a cooking show or like either me in the kitchen cooking or just us talking about a topic of some kind.
So again, summer Kickstart begins on April 20th. That's the orientation week. The actual tracking part of Kickstart begins April 28th. So the 42 days begins on that day. For those of you who have already gotten your books, great, but the book is not mandatory.
No.
It's optional. You do not even need the book at all, because the way that Kickstart has been designed this time, orientation week will walk you through everything you need to be able to do Kickstart. If you want the book for additional tools, please go ahead. And if you want to not buy from Amazon, buy it from the PDF, and go to Staples and just get it printed yourself. It might be a cheaper option that way for some of you, because Amazon, we put on Amazon because it's the easiest way to get you guys to have the books, and we can't print everything and ship them to each of you one at a time. It'd be too much work for us. This is the only way we're able to do it. But if you don't want to support Amazon right now, which we get, go to our website and get the PDF version.
Definitely.
Something else, our cookbooks out. So our newest summer cookbooks available for those of you who want 30 new recipes from Jean-Luc. So we have our winter one, our summer one just came out. So all 30 new recipes are in there. And if you haven't registered for Kickstart, just go to the dashboard and you'll see if you're registered. It'll be in green if you are, it'll be in red if you're not. I'll share the link in chat for those of you wondering. So for those of you want to check, so I will share that right now. And that's pretty much it for Kickstart. Like, we're ready to get going. Everything's set up. We're ready.
Yeah.
We're ready, everybody. Like, we're like, can we get started now, please?
Yeah, so our classes for step classes are going to be coming back. I'm still being very careful with my knee, so I might come back without a step still.
You might do it on a chair.
I might do it with a chair and see if I can just do some chair exercises for a little while. I need to go get it looked at. I know I need to go get it looked at. So I don't want to take any chances in making it worse.
I'm also having issues. I'm wearing these new socks that I bought. They're called Copres. I've been having issues with my feet as well, which is why we've been canceling a lot of step classes. We both have been having issues. So my left foot, my arch hurts, and my right foot, I have plantar fasciitis. It's been hurting me for a while. But these Copres socks was an ad I saw on Amazon on Instagram, and they're supposed to help alleviate plantar fasciitis. And I wear them right now, and I don't feel any pain as I'm wearing them.
He got them yesterday.
Yeah, I got them yesterday, and after 2 days, I'm feeling, I can actually.
How were they with socks and shoes on?
They're fine.
Okay,
Yeah, no,
that was my concern. I was like,
I wore socks and shoes with them today, and I still wore them under. So for anybody who has plantar fasciitis or issues with their feet, I'll let you guys know how it goes, and then once I test it out, how it works for me.
I saw someone say earlier, and I saw it online as well, a frozen water bottle, and roll your foot on a frozen water bottle, or a tennis ball. That also helps. So those are always good things to do.
So that's why tomorrow I'm planning to do step. So we will be up tomorrow morning. Step classes will be happening this summer as well.
Yes.
But the schedule will be reduced. We'll talk about all that in the summer after Kickstart. Once Kickstart's done, we'll give you all the announcements for the summer. But yes, Kickstand will have stuff this summer. Do not worry, we'll still be around. And then so this Thursday, we are going to be in the kitchen. We're going to be doing a Sunset Gourmet tasting. So Jean-Luc is going to take some of the Sunset Gourmet products that he got shipped. And we were actually going to start creating some recipes and testing them out to see how we like them.
I put some in my rice tonight.
It was delicious.
It was really good. Yeah. And then I used another they have sheet pan vegetable seasoning that I used on my asparagus and my Brussels sprouts for dinner tonight. I was like, OMG.
Yeah. The
spice blend it was great. I was like, impressed.
So don't join us for that this Thursday. And we also have an announcement for an event. We are going to be doing the Kelly Shire's Breast Cancer Foundation Pick Ribbon Walk, followed by a picnic lunch for my birthday. So for those of you who want to come celebrate my birthday with me on May 24th, we're going to start off by doing a walk in a trail in Uxbridge for charity.
Yep.
And afterwards, we will be doing a picnic. There's also a chip stand there, so you can bring your own food, and we'll get together for my birthday. So if you want to come send happy birthday with me, the event information will be released this week. So if you want to register, the information will be there for you to come join us.
Thanks, Cameron. She's like, what about Jean-Luc's birthday? We're already talking.
Carmen, you mean
Carmen? Cameron. Carmen, thanks, Carmen. What about my birthday? That's first. We're already talking about your birthday, May.
Because you don't have to register for your birthday. And your birthday, you get a day off. Because your birthday is Good Friday. So I'm not even going to talk about your birthday.
And for my birthday, actually, Carmen, we're going to see a play. We're going back to see Come From Away this on April 18th. Nick never got to see it because he was sick the first time we went, and Lizette wants to see it. So we said, let's just go. It's a perfect time for us to go, and I can't wait because I'm going to see it again.
So now we're going to touch upon a touchy subject. We have to talk about this because it's the big elephant in the room as Canadians. As you know, we have a lot of Americans here, Canadians here, and Jean-Luc and I have not been saying much in the last little while because of our trip to our cruise ship.
Yeah.
We didn't want to say anything or publicly state anything because we wanted to make sure that we can go and come back with no issues. But we'll be honest, we were terrified.
100%.
We were scared of flying to the States. He was terrified of going through customs. I had to reassure him and be like, hey, hon, we're lucky. Customs crossing for us is in Toronto. We're at the airport. The worst thing they can say is go home. Like, they're not going to put us in a jail. We're already in Toronto. There's no way for us anything to happen. So we made it there. We were fine. Like Jean-Luc said earlier, we met some Americans on the ship. Almost the entire ship was full of Americans.
It was. And that one gentleman that we had that conversation at the beginning was the only one that I can honestly say that who we spoke to or spoke to us who was a supporter of we know who.
Yes. And a lot of people on the ship, like John said, almost every single American we spoke to, once the because you know, when you meet someone, what's the first thing you say? Hey, how are you? Where are you from? And every time we say Canada, the first thing the Americans, we're so sorry. We didn't vote for him. We're so sorry.
We're so sorry.
And that's what we got from everybody, from those we met in Florida, from those we met on the cruise ship. We got that message from them.
It was quite an interesting role reversal in so many ways, because for so many years, what have us as Canadians known for? Always apologizing, right? We're always saying sorry. And to see so many Americans apologizing to us now, it's very weird. And I'll be honest, I was born and raised in Windsor, everybody. I crossed the borders all the time. Never even thought about it. And I'm going to be very honest too, I partied growing up in my 20s on 8 Mile, where Eminem partied. And I had no...
met them. They were best friends.
I never met Eminem, but honestly, in places that people were afraid to go to, and it was like, it was my neighborhood back then. I lived in that area. But just being able to, like, years later, to come back and feel this, like, this pure uncomfortableness and just this fear, it was insane. It was just such a weird feeling.
So... we won't be, we love everyone, everywhere.
Yeah.
We don't care if you are a Republican, a Democrat, a Christian, Jewish, white, black, from South America, from North America, from planet Earth. We don't care wherever you're from. We love everyone.
No matter what.
So we will never shun anyone from our community for whatever they believe in. But we have to be honest with how we're feeling. And so one of the things you've noticed on our trip, we changed a lot of what we did on our trip on the way there. We didn't buy any alcohol in the States. Have you noticed we went to duty free before we left? We paid for alcohol in Canada. We brought all our snacks. We only ate one meal each day in Miami. We spent $5 at CVS. That's it. We only paid for what we had to. Why did we go on this trip? Because another thing that happened while we were on this trip, people attacked us. Some of our posts, our posts that we posted in Miami, we had people attack us, say, I can't believe you're going on this trip. You're traitors to Canadians. Why are you going on this trip? And I'm sorry to say, I am not willing to throw away $6,000 on a vacation I've already paid for because of some person's decisions on how to manage a country. These are something that we already paid for. So if you see other people out there are going on their vacation, still remember, a lot of us have booked this already. We can't cancel or we'll lose this money.
And vice versa. I also want to bring in the idea is we know people are going to be, a lot of Americans are coming to Canada this summer, and a lot of Americans are going to be supporting us because they believe in who we are as a country. And we cannot paint everybody with the same paintbrush, no matter what. So make sure you talk to the people you're speaking to and understand where they're coming from, and know that not everybody has the same beliefs or supports
The same
the
people.
same people in the same way.
And so we want to give this announcement. So we will be supporting Canadian products going forward.
100%.
You'll start noticing that when we share products, it'll be mostly Canadian now. We are not planning to travel the States anymore.
This was our last
This
trip.
is our last trip. We have no planned vacations. A lot of the trips that we had planned, we originally, for some of you remember, we were going to go to Alaska next year. A lot of you remember there was an Alaska trip planned. We spoke to Jen from Rustic Mama and said, we don't feel comfortable going to Alaska. You know what? And I understand that a lot of people who will want to come on this vacation will not want to go because again, we're being attacked right now. We are being attacked as a country, saying that we don't deserve to exist, and so we can't sit there and say we're going to support that. So we decided to switch.
We are Canadian and 100% proud of our Canadian citizenship.
And Jen from Rustic Mama agreed, and so instead we're going to Iceland next year. So for those of you who are looking for Alaska, instead it's Iceland. There's still icebergs there. There's still icebergs there. So, and then another thing that we've changed is originally a few years ago we were planning to drive to Quebec and drive down to the States to visit the rest of the eastern seaboard. We're not going to do that anymore. We are going to stay in Canada or visit other countries that are friendly to us because that's what we can do. That's what we can do to support our own country. And I'm not saying that I'm never going to go back to the States. And I'm not saying that I want to shun my American friends.
Never.
No, we love all of you. We never want you guys to feel that you're not included. We never want to make you guys feel that, we're against any of you. That has nothing to do with that. We just feel that we need to stand up for ourselves. As two guys who were bullied all the time in childhood, this is such a big rebirth of that bullying that we felt as a kid.
But on a whole different level.
A whole different level. And so we wanted to be honest with all you guys. We wanted to say what we're actually feeling. You'll actually see us be more honest about this now because now that we know we're not going through the States, going through customs, and our phones are going to be looked at, we're feeling a lot more safe. We're at home. We're not going anywhere. So if anybody who wants to discuss this with us, you can. Do not feel that, do not feel that if you're an American and you're part of this group that you're going to be excluded in any way. That's another thing.
Unless you are supporting what this person is supporting.
Yeah,
if you are blatantly saying it and belittling others,
or telling us
that will not be accepted in this group.
Yeah.
So if you are going to post something like that, it will be removed.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
But what we're saying is that we love all of you. We love everyone I know we have people following us from the UK, from Australia, New Zealand, from the US, from Canada, from all over the world. We love all of you. That doesn't mean we love your management of your countries. The whole trip, that's what I said. I love the employees of the United States. I don't like management. If I was at a restaurant, I'd give a tip to you guys and I wouldn't give a tip to the owners. I'd walk away and be like, that restaurant sucked, but the servers were great. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So we just wanted to share that message with all of you, and I hope you guys understand. We're not going anywhere. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. And
we're not here to tell you how we're not here to talk about politics.
No.
But politics are a part of our world right now, even more so than ever.
It was too hard not to bring it up. We never talk about this stuff with you guys. You guys have known us to really leave. We don't bring politics, religion, any of that stuff into our conversations because no one will ever agree on those.
No.
And what we're here to do is to support each other in a positive mindset and to help us achieve our goals. It's not about discussing the world's events, but we knew we had to bring it up. We knew we couldn't sit back and not say anything anymore. So we hope you guys...
Well, and we also know right now, and I'm going to say this right now in Canada, it's coming close, everybody. You know what? We're going through our own elections coming up soon. And we need to come together as a country. And we need to make sure we make a right decision to make sure that everyone is protected.
Yeah.
That is what is important, is that we are protecting our people. And our people come from everywhere. Because this is, first of all, it's not our land, right? It's the indigenous land. We are lucky that we've been inhabiting their land for so long. So please, 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 just know that, as much as there's so much hatred out in the world still, there's still a lot of love. And I kept telling everybody on this cruise ship, it's so funny how people walk around with a resting bitch face all the time. You're on the most beautiful ship in the world and they look angry like you cannot believe. But just putting a smile on your face, it's free of charge. Doesn't cost a thing. Giving someone a hug doesn't cost a thing. So make sure we're spreading that love. We're spreading that positivity. We thought we needed it a couple years. We need it even more so now. We are strong people, right?
And we'll go through this together, everyone, because I think all of us here are kind of going through the same dark times in some ways. And we'll have a community at least to support each other while this is happening. We'll meet often. We'll get through this. We're going through Kickstart in a few weeks. Then Kickstand's going to start. And we just told you we're changing that up. And then Kickstart's going to start again. So basically, you're stuck with us almost all the time again. Sorry.
And let's just say Nick and I talked about other things we might try out in.
Oh, yeah.
We're not going to talk about that yet. We like to tease people.
You can tell them.
So,
you tell them.
Well, I will tell them. This is a total off topic, a whole other topic now. So a lot of people know about Gina Livy, right? There's a lot of Gina Livy people out there. Nick and I are considering it. It's something that is we need something new. Don't get me wrong, Healthy helped us for the first little bit, but I think it's bringing us back to the memories of WW again, because it's tracking in an app in the same way. It's counting points again.
We're going to try something.
And we want to try something completely different.
And I'll be honest, we even discussed about like Ozempic and drugs. Like we are discussing every option because available. You know what? We firmly believe that this forum is to discuss everything honestly and openly. We are not here to shun anyone on what choice you pick. And so we're going to be honest about the discussions we have. We both struggle with weight. Why is it that Jean-Luc can stop eating and not work out and lose weight? And I stop eating and don't work out and I gain 10 pounds. It's not fair. Why is it that possible? Maybe I have a problem. Maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe I do need something. We're never going to say no to anything. We're never going to judge anyone because you know what?
Well, we don't want to be judged.
Yeah.
Right?
We don't want to be judged.
We don't want to be judged, so why should we judge you? We want to provide, you know what? I'm willing to listen to anyone that and it was Mel on the cruise. She had talked to us about it before. Other people had mentioned it when we were leaving WW and it was this cruise that we talked about and how she said it was working for her and how she enjoyed it. We're like, you know what? Why aren't we giving it a shot? It's 90 days.
If it doesn't work, it doesn't
work. We don't need to go back, right?
And we're thinking of maybe doing it in the fall.
Yeah.
Maybe. So not the summer. No way. Mel was like, do it in April, starting soon. No.
Well, not only that, we'll be very honest. We know with starting at the same time actually as the next Gina Livy, we're like, it'll be too much in our heads to try to balance and manage both. So we're thinking the fall is the perfect time, or the summer is the perfect time, her next one afterwards.
So on that note, we will see you all on Thursday. For those of you in Zoom, stick around, but we will end the live feed.
As far as Gina Livy just being Canadian, I'm not 100% sure, Carmen, but we can look into that and let people know.
No, it's not.
I don't think it is. I think because it's an all online thing.
Yeah.
Everything's online, so.
On that note, thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed our little recap of our trip. Videos are coming for a lot of stuff we just said. You'll see actual clips of what we did. And again, we will stay on for those of you on Zoom to chat for a bit more. But those of you online, we'll see you on Thursday or tomorrow morning.
Yes,
class.
Hi, TikTok.
8 more.
10 more. 10 more.
10 more.